So what I am going to do today is I'm going to take my Soldano SLO 30 and compare it with the Soldano SLO 100 patch in the Fractal FM3 unit. The timestamps are below if you want to get right into the action. Head over there. Bam. I have this kind of sectioned off in 3 different sections. Now the first section is going to be a comparison of the 2 amp models within a mix with drums and bass. Then the next section is just the guitar tracks, so you can hear the more minute differences. And then the third section, I'm going head to head with the crunch channels. So it's important to note that I did my best to keep all variables equal and controlled in this experiment. Specifically the impulse responses, I used the same impulse responses in my Torpedo Captor X as I did in the Fractal unit. So there's no post-processing on these recordings either. There's no EQ, nothing like that. The guitars are just as is. So without further ado, let's check it out and we will reconvene after. there we have it. What do you think? I prefer the real amp. I'll always say that. But the reason why I like the 30 better is that to my ears it sounded warmer. It sounded like I had more low mid girth to the sound, whereas the Fractal unit I had more of the upper register. I had like more of a crispness going and then more upper mids. This just sounded better to me. I think real amps always sound better to me just because you know, it's the real deal, man. Tubes for the win, always. You know, I'm a child of the 80s. You know, when I was a teenager, we didn't have the cool technology that we do now with like impulse responses and the Fractal units and stuff and some of the other competitors. But all we had were amps, man. And we plugged in and we played and we pushed air and it was awesome. You know, I'll push air any day of the week, man. If I ever played live again, locally, I would always take an amp, always. There's something about it, whenever I see bands that use Fractal units or something similar and they plug directly into the front of the house, they sound a little thin live. It just doesn't have the same feeling, the roundness, the hugeness to the sound that the real amps seem to carry. Now, that doesn't mean that these units are pointless. I mean, they're awesome. I mean, look at the price point. For $1,200 for that FM3 unit, it gives you access to a multitude of different amplifiers. Everything from a Dumble to a Marshall to a Mesa to a Soldano to a Friedman. I mean, you get the pick of the litter. It's great for traveling. If you're playing overseas, yeah, absolutely. That'll fit in your carry-on, you know? So there's definitely benefits for it. I mean, I have both, obviously, right? But the Fractal units I tend to use more for the studio. Yeah, real amps all the way for me. But anyway, let me know. Am I crazy? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. You know, I'd like to get that conversation going. And, you know, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And we will see you next time.